Yes, self-builders, I'm back with another episode of Self-Builds by Fenton, and this episode is for any self-builders that are building over or near a public sewer in the UK. So if that sounds like you, sit back, stay tuned, get a cup of tea for the next 5 minutes. I'm going to give you as much information that I know about the process to help you along with your self-build journey. So if you're planning a new building, a conservatory, a garage, or any other extension to your home, and it's important to let Thames Water know because they need to make sure the work doesn't accidentally affect a sewer or limit access if they need to come and repair it. And then fundamentally, once they're happy, they'll issue you with a buildover agreement. So how do you know if you need a buildover agreement or not? Number one is if you're within 3 meters of a pipe serving more than one property, and that's known as a public sewer, or if you're within 1 meter of the point where a pipe serving only your property crosses your boundary, where it becomes a public lateral drain. So with our project, I would recommend getting a CCTV survey done, especially if your drain is complex. The one on our project was about 6 foot deep, so highly recommend you get a CCTV survey done. We didn't do it originally, but we ended up having to do it anyway. They're about £250, and it's just a time saver because it allows your architect then to come up with a drawing which is very accurate for submission to Thames Water. Thames Water categorize the drainage submissions into 3 classes. So class 1, if the sewer you're building over or near is up to and including 160 millimeters in diameter, you may be eligible for a self-certified agreement or may require an approved agreement. Class 2, you need to apply for a approved buildover agreement if the sewer you're building over or near is from over 160 millimeters to 375 millimeters in diameter. They'll carry out a pre-construction CCTV survey to check whether any repairs are needed. They also carry out a second survey when your building is complete to make sure the sewer hasn't been damaged. And then a class 3 isn't for residential. I think it's for the big commercial institutions. I'll read it out anyway. You'll also need to apply for an approved buildover agreement for sewers over 375 mil in diameter. In this case, we may need to enter the sewer to carry out pre and post construction surveys rather than using a camera. So in the context of most people, you're looking at class 1 or class 2 band. Class 1 is around £343 or £299. It's better to do it online because it's cheaper. You get a bit of a discount. Up to and including 160 millimeters, so 6 inches, commercial or new build properties, and that's at about £687. And class 2, which is over 160 mil, 6 inches to 375 mil, 15 inches, which is the same price, 687. And class 3, 1300 starting, I think. Yeah, 1300. Also, just something to consider, there's a legal fee involved in entering into an agreement for sewers over 375 millimeters in diameter, which is usually around £550. But again, for self-builders, highly unlikely unless you do some massive project. So these fees cover processing the application, technical review of the plans, discussing and agreeing any design change proposals, liaising with the builder or building control officer, issuing the agreement, registering the agreement to build over or near the public sewer within Thames Water's records. I'll be honest, I think the prices are quite cheap. Don't tell Thames Water this, but I think it's quite cheap for the amount of work that they need to do. Probably explains why Thames Water are having some financial troubles at the moment. They're just not charging enough for their services. So this next segment is just about what drawings you need to do to get a response back from Thames Water to get your design approved. So drawings required for all applications. So you need to provide the existing building and drainage layout. And I mentioned about this before. Get a CCTV survey if you've got a complicated schema underground, because it just saves you time. Yeah, it costs a little bit, but time is more important, I think. And you need a site location plan. Show an example of one. This must show the location of the property in relation to the neighboring properties. And if you can, with your CCTV survey, when you get it done, here's a top tip or a gem for you. See where your neighbors' drains are as well, if you can. Obviously, if you've got on good terms with them, peep over the fence and see if there's a manhole along, because that helps with your design and helps also Thames Water come up with alternate solutions if they're not happy with your the one you submit or you propose, or your architect submits or proposes. If you're building near a sewer, then they must show the manholes and flow direction in relation to the proposed structure and any connections into the sewer. Also, for the cross-section, if you're building near a sewer, you'll need to include a cross-section drawing showing you your foundation design in relation to the pipe. Okay, and if you're building over a sewer, it must show the sewer, any manholes and flow direction in relation to the proposed structure and any connections into the sewer. Suitable external access to the sewer must be maintained. And then in relation to the cross-section on a building over a sewer, you'll need to include a cross-section drawing like this, showing the foundation design and its relation to the pipe. You'll also need to bridge the sewer with a concrete lintel at the point where the sewer passes through the foundation walls. So those are the key elements of what you're going to need to submit your drainage design to Thames Water in order to get one of these, which is a approved Buildover designed by Thames Water, so you can crack on and get your drainage done for the first phase of your project. Okay, so if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments or send me an email at selfbuildsbyfenton, and I'm more than happy to help people along with their self-build journey. If you like the content, obviously hit the like button and subscribe, and join me on the next episode of Self-Builds by Fenton. Follow me along on my self-build journey. So have a nice rest of the week or weekend, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Peace.